Yes, thank you so much for coming today to this show. Welcome to tonight's show. So today we will be reading about a book that is titled The Little Red Riding Hood. So are you guys ready? Let's get into it.
Once upon a time, there was a dear little girl who was loved by everyone who looked at her, but most of all by her grandmother, and there was nothing that she would not have given to the child. Once, she gave her a little cap of red velvet, which suited her so well that she would never wear anything else. So, she was always called Little Red Riding Hood. One day, her mother said to her,
Come, Mr. Red. There is a piece of cake. There is a piece of cake, a pattern of mine for your grandmother. She's ill and weak and please make you forget it. When you are walking, make sure to walk nicely and do not run off the path or you may fall and break the bottom. Okay. Oh, before you get into her room, make sure to say good morning and not tips until I return of it. Okay? Good morning.
Little Red Riding Hood said to her mother, and gave her hand on it. The grandmother lived out in the woods, half a league from the village, and just as Little Red Riding Hood entered the woods, a wolf met her. Little Red Riding Hood did not know what a wicked creature he was. I was not at all afraid of him.
What have you got in your basket? Little Red Riding Hood.
Cake and wine. Yesterday was Wednesday, so go said grandmother. Has something good to make her stronger.
Where does your grandmother live, Little Red Riding Hood?
A large bottle of a deep father on in the woods. Her house stands under the oak trees. The nut trees are just below. You surely must know it.
The wolf thought to himself, what a tender young creature! What a nice plump mouthful! She would be better to eat than the old woman. I must act craftily so as to catch both. So he walked a short time by the side of Little Red Riding Hood, and then he said,
See, Little Red Riding Hood, how pretty the flowers are about here. Why do you not look around? I believe you walk gravely out here as if you were going to school, while everything else out here in the wood is merry.
Little Red Riding Hood raised her eyes, and when she saw the sunbeams dancing here and there through the trees, and pretty flowers growing everywhere, she thought, suppose I take grandmother a fresh nosegay. That would please her too. It is so early in the day that I shall still get there in good time. And so she ran from the path into the woods to look for flowers, and whenever she had picked one, she fancied that she saw a still prettier one farther on, and ran after it, and so got deeper and deeper into the woods. Meanwhile, the wolf ran straight to the grandmother's house and knocked at the door.
Who's there?
It's Little Red Riding Hood. I am bringing cake and wine. Open the door.
Lift the latch until we can cut it out.
The wolf lifted the latch, the door sprang open, and without saying a word, he went straight to the grandmother's bed and devoured her. Then he put on her clothes, dressed himself in her cap, laid himself in bed, and drew the curtain. Little Red Riding Hood, however, had been running about picking flowers, and when she had gathered so many that she could carry no more, she remembered her grandmother, and set out on the way to her. She was surprised to find the cottage door standing open, and when she went into the room, she had such a strange feeling that she said to herself, "Oh dear, how uneasy I feel today, and at other times I like being with grandmother so much."
Good morning.
She received no answer, so she went to the bed and drew back the curtains. There lay her grandmother with her cap pulled far over her face and looking very strange.
Oh, grandmother, what big ears you have.
The better to hear you with my child.
But grandmother, what big eyes you have.
The better to see you with my dear.
But grandmother, what nice hands you have.
The better to hug you with.
Oh, but grandmother, what a terrible big mouth you have.
The better to eat you with.
And scarcely had the wolf said this than with one bound he was out of bed and swallowed up Little Red Riding Hood. When the wolf had appeased his appetite, he lay down again in the bed, fell asleep, and began to snore very loud. The huntsman was just passing the house and thought to himself, "How the old woman is snoring. I must just see if she wants anything." So he went into the room, and when he came back to the bed, he saw that the wolf was lying in it.
Do I find you here? You all seen it? I saw long question.
Then just as he was going to fire at him, it occurred to him that the wolf might have devoured the grandmother and that she might still be saved. So he did not fire, took a knife, and began to cut open the stomach of the sleeping wolf. He had made 2 snips. He saw the Little Red Riding Hood shining, and then he made 2 more snips, and the little girl sprang out crying.
Oh, how frightened I have been. How dark it was inside the room.
After that, the aged grandmother came out alive, also was scarcely able to breathe. Little Red Riding Hood, however, quickly fetched great stones, which they filled the wolf's belly, and when he awoke, he wanted to run away, but the stones were so heavy that he collapsed at once and fell dead. Then, all 3 were delighted. The huntsman drew off the wolf's skin and went home with it.
Drew off the wolf's skin? Yeesh, that's a bit.
Grandmother ate the cake and drank the wine which Little Red Riding Hood had brought and revived. But Little Red Riding Hood thought to herself, "As long as I live, I will never by myself leave the path to run into the woods when my mother has forbidden me to do so."
And they all live happily ever after. Did you guys enjoy the story? I know I did. So thank you again for listening to this reading of mine, and we will see you again soon. Bye-bye.